Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about tips for crocheting faster, but also just tips to crochet in general. I think that a lot of people are intimidated by crocheting because they see all of these projects that everybody's been doing. I feel like crocheting has just become like this viral thing. And it's really not intimidating. And honestly, you just have to take it one step at a time. So let's just hop right into it. My first tip is to utilize any kind of resources. There's resources everywhere right now on so many different crafts, but there's especially resources on crocheting and knitting, just stuff with yarn. I think it's starting to become more of a thing, especially after 2020. Really, there's so many resources that you can use. Obviously, YouTube being one of them. Research different simple patterns, research things that might look intimidating but really are very simple. Most crochet projects are really simple. The majority that you probably see are a very simple pattern. It just looks very complex, but really it's not. Once you find a pattern, most patterns are just repeating themselves. For instance, I just finished a wave blanket, and most people would say, wow, like that looks very intimidating, that looks scary, that looks hard to do. But honestly, it's literally the same pattern, the same stitches over and over and over again. Now when you increase, you're adding more than one to make it the humps over it, and then when you decrease, you're putting two together. And so it's really that over and over and over again. Obviously you can change the colors, you can make it look more complex, but it's really not complex. It's the same pattern over and over. Get books from your library on crocheting, use YouTube, use patterns from Pinterest, and just get yourself familiar with different ways to use one simple stitch over and over and over again to make it look more complex in your work. My second tip is to just practice making your own patterns. Practice. It doesn't even have to be an actual project. I think it's really neat when people make washcloths and they just use different patterns or different stitches that they learned. Make your own pattern. Do, two double crochets and then do a treble crochet and then do two double crochets and then just see what that looks like, and maybe it makes a little bump in the washcloth or whatever the case may be, but this will help you figure out what kind of texture you want. It will help you figure out what the pattern looks like for you. It will help you figure out if you want to add more to give it, some type of different pattern if you're not changing color. After you figure out stitches and what they can do, start putting things together and making different stitch patterns just to see what it looks like. For this tip, I would say make swatches, even if it's 2 by 2. I feel like you don't get a really good idea of a pattern that small, but you can, like, for me, I would make it a little bit bigger, like maybe a 4 by 4 or a 6 by 6, a little square, just so you can really see what this drape is like. Make sure you're looking at the pattern as a whole and what it would look like if it was bigger. I think making swatches or just small things that you can use is very, very useful and very helpful. That leads me to my next tip, which is tip number 3, to make sure you are writing these things down. Write down which hook you're using, what type of yarn you're using, maybe even write down how tight your tension is. Write these things down so that way when you go back and you do want to use maybe that yarn, that hook for this pattern, you'll know exactly what you need to do. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the best at this because I just want to enjoy the craft. I don't want to be stuck writing it down. But in the long run, I do wish that I took some notes on certain patterns or whatever, because then I can remember, oh, this yarn that I used, it was cotton, and I used this hook, and this was the style that it gave me. Writing things down, even if it's not your pattern, just writing down what you used will help you tremendously once you do want to make your own pattern or once you do want to make something again. just write it down just in case you can never find that pattern again, or help you experiment on crocheting better. Tip number 4 is really leaning towards how to crochet faster. I like to do everything, all my priorities first, so that way when I'm sitting down crocheting, I can really zone into it. I don't have to worry about if there's dishes that need to be done or if the floor needs to be mopped or anything else. I can just go straight into crocheting. And for me, I don't speed up my crocheting until about 5 minutes in. And so it takes maybe a little while to get like that groove. But then once you're in the groove, it's like you don't want to stop. And so make sure that this is just a chill crochet session for you. If you need to light a candle or listen to some music or, play a series of TV show or whatever it is, get settled in, feel relaxed, and start crocheting. That definitely will help. Tip number 5, I would say just do it. Don't feel like you have to know 1,000 different stitches. Don't feel like you have to have hundreds of different products. Don't allow the world to intimidate you to feel like you have to do way more than you need. Honestly, you need one hook and you need one skein of yarn, and you can start. And don't be hard on yourself. If you make something, even if it looks completely different than what you planned or a pattern that you tried to follow, encourage yourself, be proud of the work that you made, and continue, because I bet you if you keep that first thing that you made and then make something else in a week or even 2 weeks or a month, you are going to be so proud that you started here and that you are here. So just trust the process and just don't give up and continue. All you need is a hook and some yarn. That's it. Just start with what you have and continue and love that journey that you're on. I hope that this helps you guys. I thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hey, hey. I just wanted to make a video because my hair was cute.